Hi guys, it has been a while, much longer than I ever anticipated it being. But have you guys ever heard that quote that goes, "Man plans and God laughs"? Well, that has been the utmost embodiment of the last 4 months of our lives. This footage is actually from October of last year, and it is now spring of the following year. And this footage is actually of the last week of my life where I'm not having to work insane hours. So this is the last week of me working remotely predominantly, and so we were savoring every little bit of the time that I had. So we went to the farmer's market, we chatted their ears off about how they got into it, what's been their best items, how long it took them to create a consistent customer population that'll come to the farmer's market, and even how long it took them to bring the customers to the farm. So between that and actually going to this restaurant called Mish Mediterranean, we have been doing a lot of research in regards to our future farm and future business endeavors. The reason why we actually went to this restaurant is because they sell a lot of lamb, given that they are a Mediterranean restaurant, and they've even partnered with a local farm here in Kentucky to provide them their lamb, which is something that we hope to get into here in about 2 years, is getting a nice starter-sized flock of sheep, so that one day here soon we can also hopefully maybe partner with a restaurant and, or if nothing else, provide some quality grass-fed lamb to our local community. But between that and just, again, savoring all the time that we had between friends and family and normal everyday life, it was just a joy. Honestly, this was an amazing week in my life. We even got to go over and have dinner with a friend of ours, which is why you can see me making homemade pasta and just listening in on our conversation, which is actually part of whether or not they would ever want to be a contract worker like I am. They are also clinicians in the hospital setting, but they have normal W-2 jobs, whereas I am a 1099 contractor. And we were just debating the pros and cons of the constant change that kind of comes alongside of it. And if I'm being honest, I think my entire adult life so far has just been chronic change, one after the other, whether that be in a job setting, a moving setting, and just all the daily things. I've actually come to appreciate change because especially if you know you're subject to change all the time, you appreciate things so much more because you never know when that's going to be the last. And I honestly hope that's a mindset that I take in to the rest of life, because being quite honest, this entire last couple months is a lot of things where it kind of was the last, but we'll touch on more of that later. Today's Monday. We actually just had dinner with our future neighbors again, which is so much fun. She's also expecting her first baby, and just talking all things farm planning, house planning, just future life with them is so much fun, since we're going to be with them forever and ever until one of us leaves, dies, or whatever. But that was fun. I need to get heading home. As y'all can probably tell, it is rather dark, and the roads I have to go on are windy, but fun. But I'd rather not do those in the dark, so let's go. I'm probably going to continue this into maybe this coming weekend, do like a 2 weekends in my life vlog, because honestly my day-to-day life during the week is incredibly boring, as truthfully all that I do is work from home, go grocery shopping, stuff like that, and then don't do anything fun to the weekend. Probably need to work on that, but honestly I want to spend time with Sam, and he's gone all day for work, so it is what it is. But I'll catch up with you guys probably this weekend unless something else fun happens. So see you then. It is the weekend now. We are out at the farm. However, of course, it is way too windy up on top of our hill for me to actually record anything with sound. Don't know why I thought I could get away with that. But what I'm trying to show you guys is our current plan for the build. So the driveway is going to come up along that left-hand side of the pond, and it'll split off from our in-laws' driveway, which will keep going beyond the pond. Then up on top of this hill is where we intend to situate our house. So Sam's up on top of the hill trying to mark off where we think the corner of our house is going to be, so we can figure out the distance between everything to see what is feasible based on the plan that we are currently looking at. So the current plan at the time of this is we have a building plan that we are probably going to purchase and that we have sent to a custom builder, since we are more so out in the middle of nowhere There's not many big box companies that will build a normal house out here, if you will. The only one that we know of is Taylor Homes, which we are considering, but we are working with this custom builder first, just since they're more so willing to let us do some of the work ourselves. So doing some of the flooring, the tiling, well, more so the finishing details that you don't have to be a skilled laborer to do per se, just to cut down costs, but also to have that little pride and ownership. But anyways, what I'm pointing out now is the distance between all the flags. So the back right-hand corner you just saw to this corner over here is roughly 40 feet. So it would be 40 by 35 with that middle flag being where the front door would go. That is roughly where we think the house may or may not go. But again, everything is very tentative right now. And that brings us to Monday morning, aka me getting back into the swing of things for my last week of work, from home at least. I wish you guys could just smell this back behind me. I believe it's a jasmine, but it smells so good. It is finally fall here, and so we have a nice, beautiful fall breeze this morning too. This is my last week that I work pretty much entirely from home. So I'm no longer going to be like 100% remote worker predominantly. I only actually had 1 week, I believe, that I was purely... Hey, little rotten boy, you're being rotten. Stop barking at people walking their dogs, okay? Okay, as I was trying to say, this is my last week working fully from home, pretty much. So I had 1 true week where I was 100% remote worker. There have been some job changes because I was remotely covering a building that I had left almost 8 months ago now, back in Georgia. So I was covering that, but they have now found someone to take over here soon in person, which will be good for the patients. So they'll be starting sometime here end of October, November. So we'll be transitioning as she learns how to be a dietitian, and she's a newbie, so she'll need a little bit of time to get accustomed to the new charting system and just being an RD and the patient population and everything else. But with that being said, I've now picked up some new nursing home contracts to do again, which I even got a higher rate than I did before, so I feel very blessed about that, without a doubt. So I start those next week. So this is my last true week working from home, and I'm soaking it up, taking you guys along as to what it looks like to work from home predominantly. And then I've also been taking on private counseling clients as well. So that's another new addition here in the last month or so. But that's it for now. I need to get back to charting. I see your ball. I do. You do. Look. Is this what you want? So back on that topic of soaking in this last week and not taking anything for granted, The ability to do your dishes in the middle of the day as a break from work is such a luxury that I would constantly complain about prior to this. It is seriously amazing to be able to get your dishes done and have them put away so that you almost always have a clean house to get to come home to. We haven't seen this consistently in months. Alright, happy Thursday morning from me and my boys. Got one over here and there's one behind me doing who only knows what. Not film yesterday because that was my in-person work day and it just became the most chaotic day ever, seeing as how it took almost 2 hours for me to get home when it's only an hour-long drive. So that was fun. And I actually just got called off of work today because our census is too low for me to work at one of the buildings that I'm PRN at, which means I'm working on YouTube things today, and I'm extremely grateful for that because I'm beyond backed up. I have so much filmed, but I'm like months behind in editing just between all the jobs. Because it's easy to pick up a phone like this or a camera, whatever it may be. There's so many birds right now. But it's easy to pick up a phone or a camera. It's not so easy to spend 8 to 12 plus hours editing when you don't even have 2 hours in a night to get done all of the housework, cooking, whatever it may be. So cheers to being off today, apparently. All right, just wanted to hop back on here real quick because I was just thinking I cannot wait to be on our land probably in like a year and a half time, because I want to see sunsets and sunrises unobstructed as much as possible. Unfortunately, for the most part, unless it's a very cloudy morning or cloudy evening, we don't really get much of either here because the house over here blocks sunrise and then the rest of the neighborhood that way blocks our sunset. So only every once in a while when it's really cloudy do you get like the fun patterns in the sky, and that's all we get to see. So if you're a busy girl, you can't go for a WALK to go see it, then you don't ever get to really have a good view. But there's just so many things that I find myself looking forward to, and I had a realization last night that I don't think I'm gonna wait till us to live out there for me to try to start aspects of our farm, such as maybe the cut flower production, the lavender or the Christmas trees or anything like that, because if I do some rainwater harvesting and start preparing the fields, there's no reason why I couldn't do it other than the fact that I just need the time. So other than that, that is my only prohibitor, and at this point I can probably figure that out, I hope. So I'm going to be working on that also today, I think, is trying to figure out if that's an affordable thing for me to be able to do. I set up a rainwater collection system. That way between the winter and next spring, by the time I start planting, I would have water. We'll see. I'm at one of my favorite little ponds and neighborhoods to go walk in. It is a gorgeous day, and I just keep waiting for all the trees here to burst into color because I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. But honestly, getting out in the middle of the day is my favorite thing to do, but I'm going to get going. There are a bunch of people coming this way. It's been a very productive day so far. I made a little list that I showed you guys earlier, and I actually added to it. So I had dishes. I need to transfer pretty much all the photos and videos that I can off my phone and my camera to my hard drive, because my phone literally cannot take any more photos and videos unless I delete something pretty much each and every time, which is incredibly frustrating. So gotta do that. I was busy Sunday, and I usually like to journal on Sundays, so I decided to just do it now. Needed to dust because we live in a basement, and I don't know what it is, but it gets so darn dusty so quickly. Like, I swear I can dust every 2 days and it just gets so gross. So I did that. I dusted some of the surfaces we don't rust as regularly. So like we have this faux fiddle leaf tree that we keep in the living room area. And that thing was so gross. So I took it outside, gave it a good shaking. I know the lawn dude's here. Just a little bit and we can go out. I promise. Like 20 more minutes. He's not buying it at all. He's like, please. But anyways, did that. I still need to vacuum. I probably should have done that first. Actually, no. Honestly, if you're in dust, I would probably vacuum afterwards because the dust that you put on the ground, you can at least vacuum up. I'm working on a video. This is my last thing that's a major thing to do on my list today. Took the AHUs for a WALK earlier, done the litter box, and then actually that was the last thing. I put the fiddle leaf on there twice because it was that bad, I guess. But that's what we're doing. I'm actually editing our anniversary video, which that is so overdue, like 2 months overdue now, almost to the day. But overall, I'm really enjoying today. It's a beautiful day, and I'm so thankful to have gotten called off. I don't know that I'd usually feel this way, but honestly, I just needed a day to catch up and get organized. And I think today is the day that I finally cook the gumbo. So try to bring you guys along for that as much as possible. You never know what's going to happen here, it feels like. So let's get back to this before Sam comes home in a little bit and I have to get cooking. It is now 4 o'clock almost. Sam should be home any minute. He got to go home early because he's over on hours for like the last couple of weeks. I just got my video uploaded to YouTube, so now all I have to do is make the thumbnail for it, and I'll probably do that after dinner. And because Sam's coming home early, we're actually going to go to the park and go for a walk, which I am so excited about. Walk, hike, whatever you want to call it. We're probably going to go on one of the trails, I'm assuming. And I've pretty much gotten almost everything done on my to-do list. The last thing I can check off is edit the video, and then I just have to transfer more photos and videos off my camera and phone so that I can actually use the both of them and not have to just resort to deleting things at random and hope it's for the best. But that is it. Sam should be pulling in truly any minute now, so take you guys on a walk for us here in a little while.
Like a penny to your name.
Business bank accounts I think actually require a different amount for some reason. Really good. It's so shallow right now. Wonder if it's always this shallow. It is 4 o'clock on a Thursday, and I have not talked to you guys all day. Friday. It's Friday. Yesterday really screwed me up, but it is Friday. It has been a double shift on top of having 2 private clients, which means I've been booked pretty much all dang day. And it's a good thing. I'm very much appreciative for it because all the money towards the farm and our house build is appreciated, truly, especially with all the different census issues the last couple of months. So with that being said, it's a happy day. It is a busy day. I'm taking a little break later with Sam to go for another walk in the park. He really enjoyed it, and I obviously always love it. So we're gonna go again tonight when he gets home. But basically all my day is just charting. I would flip you guys around to show you like the computer setup, but like I can't because obviously on the other side of that screen is patient info. So that's where we are, but I'll try to take you guys along for a walk. Otherwise, I'll catch up with you guys this weekend, I guess. That was a whole work week with me. This is my last official work week, predominantly being a remote employee. Next week is a little bit of a weird week, so I'm starting on a Tuesday with these buildings. But going forward, other than next week, it'll be Monday through Wednesday. I am in person, and I will also have the Georgia building until the new dietitian takes over. And then every other Wednesday I have another building that I see every 2 weeks. And then after those buildings I have private client availability so I can see people then. And then Friday is usually my pretty much busy day for client availability. So Things are looking great. Truly, I'm so happy with the way things are going in life right now. There's so many things that we are accomplishing that I never knew would be a possibility. I always wanted to see private clients. That is something that is really close to my heart because you get to build that relationship with them and you really get to see it through and go through everything with these patients. Whereas honestly at the hospital, it's usually I see you maybe once, a couple times during your stay. We have one long session and then you go home, and I hope that you took it all in. I hope that you're making the lifestyle changes, and I never know. And there are some patients that like we've had for months in the hospital, and I would love to get to see how things worked out for them. And the nursing homes have my own special place, or they have their own special place in my heart, mostly because I love the stories. I love all the veterans in these nursing homes. I love all the grandparents. I love all the stories, life lessons that you learn. That could be its own videos, life lessons that I've gleaned from older people. Older as in like 80 to, we have a 105-year-old in one of my buildings, had a 105-year-old in one of my buildings. So there's so much you can learn from the older generations. I think I will have to do that at some point, if no other reason other than just honor all the knowledge that they've passed on to me. But that's it for now. I got to get back to working, and I'll see you guys this weekend for hopefully some fun things amidst more working. 2 weekends from now, I will finally have my first weekend off in almost 3 or 4 months, something like that. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But bye for now. Oh. Alright, hopefully you guys can see us, but we got a little moving treat because we just finished helping my friend move into her new house. So now we got one to take home. Even better. Yet again, it is the weekend, and therefore we are also back out at the farm. Who is surprised at this point? But this time we actually came out here with the idea of possibly moving the house onto that back hill that sits more so adjacent to the pond, opposed to like looking onto the pond. Possibly in part because we liked the privacy, and because that main hill does get so much wind, it could be better to push it back farther. However, you lose the ability to see your entire property, which we didn't exactly care for. And we also did not love that the cost to build would be substantially higher due to the longer length of having to run all the utilities, so water, gas, electric, and so forth. So we kind of pondered on that for a little bit before returning back to just the notion of keeping the house on that main hill. Alright, so we're at the property again. We have a excavator person to help with our driveway. I think we're now routing it on this side of the property instead, but let's go see what he has to say. Alright, so as of right now, we're on the back right-hand corner of the farm. This is the proposed fruit orchard. Goes in towards the pond. Down here may be the drive-in. This is at least for sure the rise is over my head without a doubt. It could be the backhanded drive-in to the barndominium that would sit and look out towards the pond over here. You can't even see our hill, but our hill is behind that. So kind of like over that way is where our house would be. Getting ready to finally figure out how deep this pond is. My guess is the absolute deepest is between 4 and 5 feet. You got a guess, Sam? 8 feet? Also, the final depth was 7.5 feet for the deepest part. The average around the pond is about 6 in the deep section, and then the outer sections are like 18 inches deep, so better than I thought at least. Alright, and just like that, we are done. Unfortunately, I ended up being in the water since Sam might have tweaked his shoulder. Unfortunately, that muck just got him. But I think we're heading back home now. Feels like you can see forever back here.